All right, welcome to another episode of the Courtside podcast. I'm your host, Fui, co-host, Mr. Besu.
Yo, yo, what up?
On this episode of the podcast, we're going to be going over the C League brackets as we finish the regular season and getting into playoffs. As we look at C North, we got the number 1 seed, Spider. They'll play the winner of the play-in game between Los Gallos and Ronzelli. 4-5, we have Bull Rat Ballers at 4, Winner Booze at 5. At 3, we have the back-to-back defending champs, Uptown 66ers. They'll take on the number 6 seed, the Mob. And then we have a battle of Curtis Park with the 2-7. 2, Heavy Motion, and 7, the Money Team. Very interesting bracket. Again, we've been lucky and blessed these playoffs where the stars have aligned and these matchups have been great. Spider is led by their captain, Edward Chirino, and just a deep team. They got a lot of guys that could play. You look at Kevin Calles, Luis Aguila, Fernando Ferreira, Brandon Herrera, Roger Mejia, Luis Ortega, Brian Villa. Luis Ortega is slept on. Short dude, but I love his game. Plays with that ferociousness, could shoot from the outside. Spider's a team that doesn't get as much love or recognition and is a team that struggled in the past. But to get the 1 seed in any division is tough. But here's the thing. Los Gallos and Ronzelli is going to be a tough 1-8 matchup. You know, Ronzelli has probably the best fan base right now in the league. They've played a lot of games in our Kendall location. They fill up the gym. They bring the crowd. They bring the intensity. And then Los Gallos, you know, with Joseph and Manny as captains of those teams, you know, you can't sleep on Los Gallos. You know, we're gonna look at the roster here of Ronzelli Ballers. Listen, Ronzelli with DeAndre Pendleton, I saw hit a game winner, the lefty, nasty game winner. You can see it on our Instagram. He's proven he's tough. You know, you got Thomas. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Thomas Latham. He's tough as well. And a guy that I like on their team is Julio Valle.
Yeah, Julio's good.
Julio's tough too.
Yeah, Julio's a really good player. He's got a great pull-up jumper. He's got that unlimited energy. I'm a little biased, you know. I grew up in Sweetwater in my high school days. I went to Ronzelli Park, so...
Aren't those their lower baskets?
Bro, they used to be. There used to be one court with the 10-footers, and then another court was the 8.5-foot rims.
Uh-huh.
So we would play on the little rims, and we would... Bro, that was the best time ever.
So what did they do? What year did they?
I don't know, man. I stopped going like in 2012, and then I went back a few years later, and then they did another 10-foot court.
So did they redo the baskets or what?
Yeah, they got glass backboards now.
So it's
they
a
got
nice 2
floors.
courts.
Yeah, they hooked up the park. I got these guys upsetting Manny and Joseph. I got Ronzelli coming out of that, and
I mean, look, when you look at Los Gallos with Lucas Santamarina, Alexander Toledo, Ryan Sam, like Alexander Toledo's a good player. You know, new, not very known, under the radar, but he's good. Lucas has talent. Those 2 guys kind of lead them. You know, you have a veteran and Josh De La Vega that comes in and does a good job for them. In a play-in format, 20 minutes, Los Gallos versus Ronzelli, it's going to be tough. There's some young guys on both teams that play with the intensity. And then the winner will go on to play Spider. I'm going to go with Los Gallos to win that game, and then I'm going to go with Spider to beat Los Gallos and advance to the semifinals. At the 4-5, you got Bull Rat Ballers and Winner Booze. 4-5 matchups are always interesting. Obviously, they're teams that are kind of similar in record. You know, 4-5 is good. Bull Rat Ballers is a team that, again, has played a lot of games at Kendall. Andre Gonzalez, I really like his game. He's a point guard, kind of a Luka Doncic type, not the fastest, kind of, you know, slow, plays at his pace, but can shoot, can drive. You know, he's tough. You got Matthew Perez. Matthew Perez is a guy, I like his, you know, his footwork, gets buckets, a lot of buckets. I don't think you've seen them much because you ref and mostly stay here. And they've played a lot of games over at the Kendall location.
yeah, I've tuned in a few times. They're pretty good. I think he used to play with Los Acres, right?
Yes, Andre
yes.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, that kid is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen them, man. So I'm happy to see some new teams over here. Are the playoffs all gonna be
All
played
of them
here?
are here.
Okay, I like that. So,
All playoff games will be played.
so I can't give a fair prediction. I haven't seen enough of them. I've seen them on film once or twice, but I have seen Winter Booze. These guys are big.
They're
They
big.
got huge lineups, and they got one of my favorite shooters, man. This
Eric
Eric,
Pagano,
bro.
yeah,
Eric,
bro, he can
Eric
shoot,
is
he can
hot. He
shoot.
shoots 6
He
or 7
pulls
on
up with the
with
run.
the Prestos,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
old school Nike trainers.
Yeah, trainers untied. They look like
He's
they
played like that his whole
walked
life.
a million miles on those shoes
Yeah.
outdoors, but he just comes in. And,
He's been playing in the same pair of shoes since 2006.
oh, those shoes are from
LA Fitness.
06?
The same shoes got almost 20 years.
Yeah,
on
that's
them.
crazy. But they
Yeah.
do have size. Obviously, Bo Rat Ballers is going to come in younger,
Yeah.
better shape, better stamina. Winter Booze is older. Everyone there has some size, is stockier. So whoever is able to play their style of game and impose their will that game, I think will have the advantage. To me, that's a toss-up, but I'm probably going to go with Bo Rat Ballers because of their youth. But Winter Booze is definitely going to bruise them up. You know,
Yeah,
they're gonna set some hard screens.
I got the big boys on this one.
You got Winter Booze?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uptown 66ers and the Mob. I put this game, I had it written down as upset alert. With all the respect that I have for Uptown 66ers, led by, the Bull and Jacob Finkel and back-to-back champs, you know how much respect I have for a team that can do that, But the Mob is not the matchup they want to see in round one. I'm going to repeat that again. The Mob is not the matchup they want to see in round one. When you look at the Mob, you have Jerome. Jerome is one of the best guards in the division. You match him up with Jacob Finkel. You got Serge again, tippy-toe three-pointers. These guys play at the park. They got that mentality. You got Brian Munge, big. Pedro Sanchez, if he gets hot, I've seen him hit 12 threes in a game.
12?
In a game.
Oh, yeah.
He could
that
shoot.
guy's what?
I
like the big guy, bro.
Mariani.
Yeah.
Like he's got size.
That
he
guy
can
plays
score.
hard.
This is an upset alert. This is not the matchup as a 3 seed that you want to see as Uptown 66ers. Again, the favorite's going to be Uptown because they've won back-to-back champions, right? They're the only team to win a championship in C-League. Fairly new division. Man, I don't know. What is?
It's gonna be a great game. I think Mob has the pieces. Jerome is one of my ex-students. I was his teacher back in the days in Shenandoah Middle School. Great kid, hard worker. He's been in the gym. He's been working on his game. Serge is awesome. I really would like to see them advance and dethrone the champs. Right? I like to see the champs defend their chip, but I like when new people come and take out the champions. This is gonna be a great game. I think what sets these guys apart, Uptown 66 has one of the greatest head coaches in all of Courtside.
Oh yeah,
he's always there with the
elite,
clipboard.
elite level outfits.
He's got the great suits on. That guy makes a difference.
Got the hat.
Not very vocal.
His presence
is there. Calls great timeout. They make good substitutions. They have the rotations down packed. Uptown 66, last year they brought in a big-time shooter.
Frank.
That guy is awesome. The Bull, Finkel. I mean, bro, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to defend the title. I don't know if Mob's going to win it.
Yeah.
I don't know who to predict on this one. We'll see.
You got to go with someone.
That's the best game in the first round. I got to go with someone.
You got to pick somebody.
I have to. All right.
You have to.
I'm gonna go with the Mob, bro. I think the Mob could do it. I think the Mob's
Listen, it's definitely upset alert. I think the determining factor is the big three. With Frank, Bull, and Finkel. If they could come and show their championship pedigree and take over that game, they could advance. But it's upset alert. I'm gonna go with Uptown 66ers. I'm gonna go with the veterans. But that's gonna be a tough game. The Mob is not the team that Uptown 66ers want to see in the first round.
Yeah, Mob, the big guy in the Mob is very physical. Bull, this will be my strategy, right? I'm going to feed the big guy down low. I'm going to try to wear down the Bull. because on offense, the Bull has a matchup anywhere. These guys, Jerome is not as big, as strong.
Right.
But the big guy is too slow. So if they feed this guy in the post, they start wearing him out little by little, I think they have a chance to win this game.
Next, and I know you said that this past game, Uptown 66 and the Mob was the best game, but don't sleep on the 2-7. Heavy Motion and Money Team, okay? Two teams that come from the same park, Curtis Park, very familiar with each other. This is going to be a war, all right? When you look at Heavy Motion's team, you're looking at a team that's well constructed, led by their captain, A.B. Johnson, all right? I'm a big fan of Little Mont. Little Mont is a big-time player, has had clutch moments here at Courtside, the lefty. I'm a fan of Nika. I'm a fan of Very Easy. Don't sleep on Doug Poof. They're going to impose their will on the glass. They're going to be physical. They're the team that bullies other teams with their physicality. When you look at the team, the Money Team, okay, you can make the argument that it's equal level talent. Ronaldo is another. It's just both of these teams have big physical guys that just play hard with a high motor. Like, it's going to be a game where these guys are going to leave with some bruises.
100%. Money Team, scroll up a little bit. That guy right there, Javi.
Mansad.
That kid is really good, bro.
Super athletic.
Coast to coast, athletic. He's a great defender. I think, they got Fernando Tapia too. That's a great player. This is going to be an even matchup, but I think Heavy Motion is a little bit deeper. They're gonna really bring it, bro. Monty's clutch. Doug is a great defender. And then they have Nika and El Bebe. If that guy gets hot, it's over.
You know what I like about those teams, especially Heavy Motion? Those guys foul and they get fouled, right? Those guys bang. Those guys play physical. But when teams play physical with them, they're not bitching and moaning because they understand that basketball is a contact sport. Yes, it's not football. Yes, you're not allowed to tackle. But you're going to get hit. You're going to get boxed out. There is such thing as legal contact. It's a contact sport. So do they complain or argue with the ref? Yeah, there's a healthy, normal amount of dialogue with the ref. But I've seen them get hit down low. I've seen Nika get hit. I've seen Doug Poof get hit. I've seen Mont get hit. And those guys stay quiet and they continue to play. They continue to play through the contact, and I respect them for that.
Big time, man. I love seeing these guys play. They play that park style basketball. In the park, you can't really be calling all these soft fouls. You got to play through it. You get hit, you hit back. Sometimes, like you said, there's some legal contact. There's incidental contact. Like
there's contact that's not legal, that is not always seen.
Yeah, like
the refs don't always see it. But what these guys do for the most part is they play ball. And they stop bitching and stop moaning. They play ball and they focus on what they could do better.
Yeah.
And Heavy Motion is a team that takes accountability. Because when they've lost games or when they play bad, they'll tell me straight up, yeah, we play like shit. I've seen them come back, halftime deficits of double digits, almost 20. They've come back in one game. They're a mentally tough team. And I respect the fact that they don't do all the bitching and crying. They continue to just play hard, focus on themselves. They take accountability. That's a team that I could see go far.
So who do you got in this game?
I got Heavy Motion.
All right, me too.
Finally, we agree. So that'll wrap it up for C North. I think what we should do for another, like we predicted the first round, I think for C North, we should come back next episode.
Next week.
And talk more, because that division is going to be interesting, and we'll predict the rest of that bracket as we see who advances in the first round. But these podcasts are going to be fun to talk about as the playoffs progress, to talk about games and then talk about, predictions going forward. But, man, I'm excited. C East, top seed in the division, the number 1 seed, Miracle Leaf, led by Dan, led by Taj, some solid pieces and role players. Mr. Producer, are we good there? Awesome. Okay. They're going to play the winner of the play-in game. The play-in game is going to be between Shooting Blanks and Premier Mortgage, okay? At the 4-5 seed, we got at 4, Colt 45ers. At 5, the Sleepers, TPB. Okay, we'll talk about the Tropical Park Boys in a minute. Concord Boys at number 3, a team that you're high on with Carlos and their point guard, Armando. It's tough. MS Hoopers is a team that I think has as much or more talent than anybody in C-League. HMD at the 2 seed. And then you got Straw Hats at the 7 seed. This may be pound for pound the best division in all of C-League. You have championship contenders, okay, in Miracle Leaf, HMD, MS Hoopers, Concord Boys, TPB. TPB is playing Colt 45. You got there 7 teams. No disrespect to Straw Hats, but we got HMD beating Straw Hats. 7 teams that could win all of C-League.
Yeah, this division is stacked. There's always one division in every league, that's always a little bit stronger. Sometimes they're evened out, but they're always one, or in every division there's always one that's like pretty strong, and I feel like the East is really, really tough, man. Miracle Leaf, I feel, has had a great run. They're 5-1. They're led by, like you said, Dan and Taj. They're struggling with a few injuries. Amado's going to be out, maybe Aaron. So they're only going to have 4 or 5 players. But in the first round, I think they have enough to get by Premier Mortgage or Shooting Blanks. I think they're going to have enough. Next, I have Colt 45ers and Tropical Park Boys. I'm going to go with the Tropical Park Boys. These guys are led by Mike, big-time shooter. These guys are... back in the days, Tropical Park was the park to play at. If you were from this area, from Kendall, Westchester, Sweetwater, everybody would come play over here. These guys have been playing together forever. And I really think they're just going to impose their physicality on Colt 45. Colt 45 has been playing together. They got great players. I really like on their team.
I like Juan Lastra.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colt 45ers is kind of a hybrid of OG Team Sage Mode and obviously Colt 45ers. They got some experience. Like you said, I have Miracle Leaf advancing. I think Miracle Leaf at the 1 seed, their big question mark. Taj and Dan are gonna score and are gonna produce in that division. They're gonna need 1 or 2 role players at some point to step up and make huge contributions to win a game. It's going to have to be, whether it's Meeks or Ika, Amado, Aaron, when they come back. Like, at some point, those 2 guys could only take you so far. They lack ball handling. They don't have great ball handling. So if a younger team especially, starts to pressure them, I think it could affect them. They lack 3-point shooting, okay? They have size, they have physicality, they have bruisers, they can score inside. I think it's going to be tough for them to win this season, especially with the injuries. I think they could get past the first round. I think TPB beats Colt 45ers, although it won't be easy. I think Miracle Leaf gets upset in the second round, whether it's Colt 45ers or TPB, because TPB is tough. They got guard play. They got guys that can score. Like, that's a team that slept on. For sure.
Yeah, that's a fair prediction, because I'm the coach of Miracle Leaf with Andre, and physicality could only take you so far. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to be that third option. Somebody's got to be able to shoot the ball, handle the pressure. So I think that division is really going to test Miracle Leaf C-League, and it's really going to prove to these guys if they are what they think they are. They think they're going to be the champions of the division. They're always, working hard. They're putting in the work in the gym. So hopefully it translates.
They got to prove it.
They got to prove it.
They're going to have to earn this one.
They're going to earn it for sure. This division is really hard. I think Dan and Taj could really win a few games for us. But as you get later on into the playoffs, the teams get better and more deeper, so we'll see.
I hope Aaron gets healthy, because I think Aaron at full strength and with confidence could be a really good guard in C-League. He's skilled, he's tough. If Aaron gets healthy, I think that's huge for them. I expect Meeks to step up on that role because Meeks could score. It's just about having the opportunity. Um, but I don't know. I don't see them getting past the second round. When you look at MS Hoopers, I think MS Hoopers, you can make an argument that they're the most talented team in C League. MS Hoopers has Raydel Santana, Diego Zapata, okay? You have Henry Matos, Isaiah King, the lefty, could play. They got a bunch of role players that are solid. That team is man, like they're the 5 seed, but if you look at it, they're what are they? No, the 6 seed, but they've had probably the highest strength of schedule. Like we want to make sure as a committee and our schedule makers make sure that if you have a stacked roster, you're going to have to earn that playoff spot by playing some of the other top teams. So it has not been an easy 6 games for them. I think they're a team that could be, if they're slept on, they could make some noise. But then again, they're playing Concord boys, that has Armando, which is arguably, you could make an argument that he's a top 5 player in the whole division. That's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go with MS Hoopers because of their depth, and I think they have more good players than Concord boys.
Yeah, that's a great matchup right there, man. Raydell is really good. King could get hot. I'm going to go with the Concord boys because Carlos is a very strong guard, good defender, and I think Armando, I don't think anybody over there could defend Armando and contain him to 15 points, 20. He's going to get his 30 points, and I think in the C League, when you have one really good scorer, they could really take you to the next round. I mean, nobody could stop that guy, bro. That guy's very, very good. He shoots the deep ball. He can finish lefty, finish righty. He's got good footwork, and that guy never complains, bro. He plays hard all the way through, and he's a great leader. Very high IQ and knows how to control his team and get the best out of them.
As we look at 2-7 matchup, HMD is one of the favorites to win all of C League. They have it all. They have the guard play. Now they got some size. They got youth. They got skill. There's nothing they could look at if they do not win a championship and say, we were lacking this on our roster. We need to add this. They have it all. If they don't win, it's a choke job, okay? This is probably the most lopsided matchup, first-round matchup in all of C League between them and Straw Hats, the 2-7. Straw Hats, I think we have them as 23-point underdogs we put on our story. Biggest underdog story. If Straw Hats could pull off this upset, they go down in the record books as probably the best upset, biggest upset.
Pull up the
Courtside
roster.
history.
Let me check these guys out.
They're another team that have played a lot of games
In
the Kendall location, so I don't know how familiar you are with them. They do have one guy that is dominant in Max Stacy
like
or
that guy.
Stashi. I
They
don't know how to
got Patrick Young, too. Big guy down
Listen.
low. I've seen him a few times here. They're pretty good. The thing is, HMD, who did they lose to in the championship last year?
Was it a Curtis team?
No, I don't think so, man.
Oh, no, they lost to Uptown 66ers, right?
Yes. They're tested. They've won playoff games. They got a leader, the guard, that's really good. 23 points. It's pretty.
I'll say this. The only chance that Straw Hats has of pulling off the biggest upset in Courtside history is for Max to score 45 or more points. If Max could score 45-plus points, Straw Hats could upset the 2-seed HMD and pull off the biggest upset in Courtside history. There's been a lot of smack talk in social media about this game. HMD has been talking a lot of shit to Straw Hats. Straw Hats has engaged as well. It is a lopsided matchup. HMD is expected to take care of business by 20-plus points, but Max has the ability to go off. If he could score 45-plus, he could pull off this upset. It can happen.
Anything could happen. Let's see. Max, you better step up, brother. It's on you.
All right, let's move on to C East we just covered. Where are we at now?
We got to go west and south, I think.
All right, next bracket we're going to be covering is C South. Okay, the number 1 seed Blacktop, a team that's proven, a team that's won their division championships. Um, Another team that's a contender, another team that if you bet or predict them to win all of C League, I can't argue against you on that. Okay, they're gonna play the winner of the play-in. The play-in. Oh wow, we have a large play-in here, right? Okay, we have 4 teams that made the play-in in this division. Okay, so it's gonna be a battle. Whatever team gets out of there is gonna be a little bit fatigued to play Blacktop, but you got Free Agents versus Shooters Gang. Okay, then you got Rusty Buckets versus Akatsuki. The winner of those 2 games will play against each other. The winner of that make it to the 8 seed and will play Blacktop. All right. Regardless of what happens here, none of those teams are beating Blacktop.
I don't think they have enough to beat those guys either. What's the next matchup there?
3% versus Better. Better is another team with a lot of experience, have won championships before. Will they be at full strength? We know these guys travel the world making content, going to different sporting events, making bets, and are doing a great job. Shout out to Better and their company and their social media team for the content they put out. Will they be at full strength? Will everybody on the roster be able to attend? I know they've had injuries to crucial players. 3% is no slouch. 3% is obviously the higher seed for a reason. I'm going to go with Better in that game just because of the experience. I think that Better has made some key additions this offseason. I think that they'll find a way to have their team there.
I think Better with JoJo, and then they picked up some guy. He's very, very strong down low. He's a great player.
Yeah, we're looking at
What's his name?
Anthony Graves.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Anthony Graves.
That kid could play. JoJo also. They got Rizzo. Very good team, man. But I think 3%. Let me see 3%.
Your captain, Michael Vasquez, has had a solid season as well. You look at 3%, they got Frankie. They have, Frankie Garcia. Jeffrey Ferguson is tough, strong guard, gets to the basket. Carlos Ramirez, you can't sleep on him. Another guy that has some size at his position. I just don't know if they have the experience or if they've played long enough to be Better at full strength and the additions that they've made. But either way, that's going to be an interesting game. Blue Ballers is a team led by Kevin. That's tough. They're going to take on Hialeah Mentality. I think this is a season that Blue Ballers advances far. I think this is a season that Blue Ballers can win a championship. Kevin Castro is one of the best players in the division, okay? Carlos Marenco is tough. You got Jonathan Perez, Danny Duarte is their X factor, hustle guy, Jarek Chavez. I mean, Hialeah Mentality is new to the league, doesn't have much playoff experience, Do they have enough to be able to beat them? I mean, they got some talent. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I said it a few weeks ago. Blue Ballers is definitely a team that can make a run. Kevin is really good. They got all the pieces they need to advance. I think Blue Baller wins that one. Next matchup, we have RB 2.0, Rusty Buckets 2.0.
Versus Big Cereal Boys. To me, that's the best game of the first round in the South Division.
Big Cereal Boys
because that's a team you don't want to play in a first round. They got the 7th seed, but Chris Ribeiro, their point guard, Josh, Avila is it?
They got Carlos Castillo.
Carlos Castillo, like that team is a team that's proven, a team with veterans like and experience and size and strength. I don't know, man. I mean, Rusty Buckets 2.0 has had a hell of a season.
Josh Avila's good. Nick Gomez, big-time shooter. Yeah, no, this team's good, and that guy's fast, man. Gio's really good.
Yeah. Chris Ribeiro, is their
enforcer,
their best player, could score. It's just a tough matchup at the 7th seed. I'm not saying that Rusty Buckets can't beat them. I think Rusty Buckets 2.0 is a more talented team. To me, it's just a matter of that's a team you got to play first round. It's tough, Brandy Cruz has some speed. I respect his game. Darren Gilbert, J. Roby is tough as well. Javier Sanchez. Then they got Chris Cortez that has had a hell of a season as well. For Rusty Buckets 2.0, the lefty could shoot, is tough. I'm going to go with Big Cereal Boys pulling off the upset as a 7 seed because of their experience in the division. They have an identity. They know how they want to play. I think experience takes this one.
Yeah, man, that's a good prediction. Go down a little bit. Look, I like Brandy. He's really good. Big Joe down low is awesome, and Darren Gilbert is good. This is gonna be a good matchup. They both have size, but I think the Big Cereal Boys have enough to get this dub.
Yeah, so we'll make the prediction as the bracket advances on another podcast. But C South, has some teams that could potentially even win the King of C League. And Blacktop is a handful. I think they make a lot of noise this season. They already have won a division championship. I think they could take the next step. Moving on to C West, okay? C West, interesting division. You got Skyforce at the top of that division. There's already, at the time of recording this, May 25th, there's already been some games that have taken place in that division with Los Lentos advancing over Avengers and Colada Kings taking care of business against Ball Don't Lie. This is interesting because the 2 and the 3 seed have been eliminated. Los Lentos at the 6 seed advance. Colada Kings at the 7 seed advance. And these are one of these scenarios where we say, and we've said in other divisions, some of these teams have a tough strength of schedule. Some of these teams maybe have missed players or just didn't perform and have fallen down to the 7 or 8 seed. But they're really teams that are contenders to win it all. Colada Kings is a team, that has, Gio at the point, Adolfo Diaz as their big. They got the shooter, Rosa the shooter. And then they got to play Ball Don't Lie, which has had a good season, a team that's won championships here before in the early seasons of Courtside. But to match up with Colada Kings at the 7th seed, Colada Kings is a team that I think can win the whole division. And they were the 7th seed. They're going to take on Los Lentos. Los Lentos is no slouch. Los Lentos is tough. We saw them beat Avengers in a close one. There's a game that Avengers could have won, but, they did not keep their cool. They were focused on other things, reffing, fighting within each other, stupid technical fouls. They choked up the game. But Los Lentos, listen, a win is a win. And win in playoffs come in all different sizes and shapes and scenarios, right? And Los Lentos advance. Mid-Atlantic Broskies and take the under is going to be an interesting game. I got Mid-Atlantic winning that. I got Skyforce winning the first round game as well, but it's another situation where ROK cannot be slept on because ROK as an 8 seed can make some noise as I'm trying to pull up the roster here. Where are we at? 1 second. I want to make sure I don't mess up these names either. But, okay, here we are. C West, okay. Skyforce. Andrew Clemesha. Great point guard, okay. You got Adrian Fernandez with size. George Guerra, another guard that could defend. Alvin Santos, you can make an argument, the top 5 player in the division. Yatter. Shout out to Angel Rodriguez as well on that team. I don't see Skyforce losing that game, although Skyforce won that game already. That's how stupid I am and how I can make mistakes.
You're fried.
Skyforce already won that game against ROK, which was actually a competitive game that Skyforce ended up pulling away at the end. ROK has Agua. They have Kane Diaz. I just think they lack the depth to be able to pull off the win there. But was a competitive game even at 1 and 8. That even like 1 and 8 seed. That's how competitive this division is. This division's way advanced. You already have 3 teams that advance in Skyforce, Los Lentos, and Colada Kings. I have Colada Kings as the 7th seed winning that division.
That's a great prediction. I think the problem in these matchups is going to be Adolfo. He's big. He's got the footwork. He's got great timing. He's a great leader. Colada Kings is a big-time sleeper, man. They could go all the way, but I think Skyforce is just a little too well-rounded. They got defenders, and I think they could win the division, bro.
So you got Skyforce. I got Colada Kings. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this episode on C League. Next week we'll have another episode to talk on the wins and the results of the first rounds and second rounds. But C League is a toss-up, in these divisions, and then also, in the king of C League when all 4 champs advance and then play in the ultimate tournament to see who gets crowned king of C League. It's going to be interesting, man. So we're going to have great content and podcasts as the C League playoffs advance. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Courtside Podcast.